Hello, it's me again, and I had a question, another viewer question. This comes from Don Abel, and he says I bought a 4x4x6 Fisher Cube as my first 4x4-6, and it popped. I put it back together, but I have a problem, parity, equivalency, that I haven't seen on my 3x3x5 or my 3x3x4. My attempts to resolve and fix the issues haven't worked. Did I put the cuboid back together wrong? Well, first off, wow, congratulations. To let a 4x4x6 Fisher Cube be your first 4x4x6 is pretty ambitious, only because this does prove to be something of a perspective bender. So you can see that he's got it to this level over here. This is about where he's got it to. Now, one thing that stands out is I noticed that your green and white are opposite mine. So your white is over here, and your green is over here, which is different from mine. I don't know if that makes a big difference in the solve. I suspect that it probably doesn't, but you might have put it together wrong in terms of the color scheme, but I think you should still be able to solve it. But in any case, this is the nearest equivalence that I can get this. You can see these are flipped compared to yours, but it's the same kind of a concept. So basically what you have is you've got it back to the cuboid form, you've got it back to the rectangular form, and now you've just got it down to these two. So you're really, really very close, and the question is, what is up with this? They just need to be swapped. Well, can I swap them? Well, I can't swap them as is. I can't swap them as independent units. So my suggestion is this. You got it back to the cuboid form, which is good. You solved the two middles and the top, which means you did the 4x4 solve. What you have left now is a 3x3x2 solve, which is here and here. Now it's actually a 4x4, it's actually a 4x4x2, but you're reducing it to a 3x3x2 by reducing these as sort of separate middles. Even though these are different pieces, you're kind of dealing with them as though they were the same piece by how you reduce them. So my suggestion is this. First off, bear in mind, although these look like the centers and these look like the edges, it actually isn't like that. These two collectively are the centers, and these are the edges, I guess you'd say. I look at them more as corners. So they're all sort of incremental corners. But my suggestion is this. Go ahead and just solve the top completely by using sliding U techniques. So you see that a white needs to come into here. The white that needs to come into here isn't going to come from this and isn't going to come from this. These two pieces are actually equivalent to each other, none of which belong over here. The only one that's going to come into here is this piece and this piece. You're going to extract it from the bottom over here. So you can't flip this around because this white can never be over here, but one of these two can. So take the one that has, well, that has to flip anyway. Move it into position, move this right behind where it can come into this part over here, and do what I call the sliding U technique. So move it in from the right middle, then slide it to the left, then do a 2L, slide it back to the right, do a 2R from the middle, slide it to the left, do a 2L, and then slide it back. So you can see this is in. Now we just have to get the green one in, and it's already ready-made for us over here. So move it in from, do a 2L from the middle, slide it to the right, do a 2R from the end, slide it back to the left, 2L on the left, slide it back to the right, 2R, and slide it back. Now what I like about this is it doesn't create misplacement on the other side, but what you did is you basically just solved this side over here, this part over here. So now we turn it upside down and we just have this one to go, and we kind of see where we're at. Now what we want to do is the next step in our 4x4x2, or my reduction to a 3x3x2 with these two, not touching this, this, or this, is to reduce these centers. Put these centers, so to speak, in. So are there any that's already in? Well, this one isn't. This one isn't. Aha, actually this one is. So this one is correct. This one is not. This is not, and this is not. Alright, so basically take the one that you have that's reduced, and like any corners that are that have two that are in, hold it to the left. And now I want to do a corner swap where I'm going to put the right one over here, which is the white one, and it should be right here, and that's here. So I'm going to do a corner swap. I'm going to swap this to here. So I'm going to swap these two. So looking at these as corners, with these two corners being in, hold it over here. This is my R. Do 2R, U, just the middle U, 2R, UI, 2R, do a UI and a D from this part over here, then 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R, and this moves back. So that's just basically a corner swap. As you can see, this is now in, so I've got these two in, these two in, this center is fine, and this center is fine. Let's go ahead and move this back. So now what we have left is all these centers have been reduced, these edges are in, but you can see these two are not. So we have a situation now where we have to swap these two. We looked at these as though they were corners, now we look at these as though they were corners, and we can do a corner swap. But here's the problem. Before I even do it and show how it's not going to work, is you're not supposed to have just two corners that have to be swapped with all the rest that's in. Because what you're going to do is the equivalent to what's called a T-perm. By swapping these two, you're also going to swap these two. So it's going to look like a T, like here and here. When you do that, everything is going to be in except for these two, and that's going to once again be something of a parity. So although I may swap these two, which is great, I'll also swap these two, and my collective centers will still be out. So stop there and don't try to do that. Recognize that this is something of a parity. It's actually not exactly a parity, it's more of a false equivocation. So what we need to do is to swap these two. We're in addition going to swap an equivalent piece from here to here. So let's swap these two. By swapping these two and these two, then I'll take the equivocation out, and that's the two swaps that I need, and I need not affect these. So the way that this is going to work is I'm going to hold this once again over here. I'm going to take this green and swap it with this green. So I'm going to, well, actually, I'm just going to hold it over here. So I'm going to do a 2R to put this green into here, slide it to the left, so it's over here, then do a 2L, slide it back to the right, 2R, slide it back to the left, 2L, and slide this back. Seeing what that did here is you're going to see that these are all still in, but now 1, 2, 3, you've got 3 that are out, and that's going to work just fine. So what you're going to do is, ignoring this, to place these guys back in, let's find 2 corners that are actually in. So move it here, one in, the other one in. So these 2 corners are in. Hold it here, and I'm going to do a corner swap at this point. Now these will also switch and adjust, but the parity is taken out. So do a corner swap to our U. Now I'm moving it at the terminal in here, to our UI, 2R, UI, D, 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R, and this moves back. So you see that all of my corners are in. So all I have to do now is move these guys in. So let's see, we got a white and green, that's going to be here, so we can flip-flop these two, and this green and yellow will come to here. So I can flip-flop these two, and then flip-flop these two. So there will be no parity with this. So let's flip-flop these two, an adjacent edge swap to our, remember these are edges now, U, to our U, to our, to U, to our, to U, to our U, to our UI, to R. So these two are in. Don't worry about this misplacement here. That's only because anytime you do edge swaps you get misplacement. But let's move these two in position. So I'm going to move these two here, and I'll swap these guys. To our U, to our U, to our, to U, to our, to U, to our U, to our UI, to R, and lo and behold, you now have this in and it's solved. So the actual issue, the actual equivocation that happened with this is the fact that you had to solve one side and then solve the, well, one layer rather than solve the other layer. You'd see that the actual true equivocation were 2 of these corners that were in wrong, basically. So you had to flip one with another on the other side. So flip these two and then flip those two and everything is fine. So I don't think you put it together wrong from that standpoint. It is solvable. I think your color scheme became off, which might not be a bad thing, but that's the way you get out of that one. Any further questions on this guy, which is a very challenging 4x4x6, let me know. Thanks for watching. Hello, it's me, and I've got another package here. This comes from Rex. I think his name is also Hex. And he's come up with some really great ghost variants. And as I don't really remember what it was that I got, I'm thinking maybe it's something like that. But he's one of my other mod contacts. I am luckily graced with a lot of them. So let's see what he's got here. All right. Okay, very nice. I don't know. Let's see. Very nicely packaged. I like the Winnie the Pooh packaging. Very cute. Okay. All right. So we start out here. It's all right. Here we have it. It is a ghost type puzzle, and let's see what kind of a ghost type puzzle this is. So I'm a big fan of ghosting because ghosting is something, as you recall, increases the difficulty of the solve. So it's a good way of taking a standard puzzle and giving it that extra layer of challenge. And I think I have most ghost versions of most cuboids. So let's see what Rex has given for us today. Nicely packaged. I'm always fascinated by people who can make ghosts out of puzzles. I don't know how they keep the perspective in designing it. All right. Oh, very, very nice. So I think you can kind of guess what this is. It appears that we have solid here, solid here, solid here, and then we have a little bit of noise over here. Let's do a little bit of motions here. So this obviously looks like an AI puzzle, and that is, I believe, what this is. This is a ghost AI puzzle. Now, a lot of people have a difficult time with AI puzzles, so what better way to make it more challenging than make it a ghost? So if I move it in this configuration, I've got to find the configuration at which I can do most of my moving. Am I not able to move here? I guess this isn't it. Let's see. So this will be an interesting challenge, because even after you get it out of the AI form, you still have to, you basically have a ghost 2x2. Okay, let's see. I'm seeing what's going to make my moves here. This won't move over here. And aha! So this moves over here. So that means setting it up, I can go like this, and I can go like this. And so now we have our actual AI portion of it. Now, is this also ghosted, so I have to put this off center? Because notice, although this is lined up here, I can't seem to move it. So this is interesting. I seem to have a line all the way through here. Is this just I don't want to force anything. So I'm going to have a lot of fun trying to figure out just how this moves. Aha! Okay, so it was a little stuck over here. So we've got this over here. So I'm really looking forward to this because, first off, the actual AI portion, every piece is unique, it looks like. So I can't use equivocation with that. But this is a ghost AI puzzle. Very, very well done. And I'm very much looking forward to trying this out. I enjoy AIs. I've got a number of other AI mods coming, so more on that later. Now, did I accidentally scramble this, or am I able to get this back? I suspect I'm going to have to do a 2x2 solve to get this back. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. I was hoping to not scramble it quite yet. So there it is, an AI ghost puzzle. Really, really well done. Indicative of his great quality. I'll come back with a scramble and solve of this at some point in the future. In the meantime, thanks Rex for another excellent ghost puzzle. Thanks for watching. Okay, so I figure let's go ahead and scramble this. Why not? So first we'll put this in a coordination where it can scramble. Just make sure that I'm in the right place. Nope, won't scramble like that. Like this. Aha! Found it right over here. So now I'm going to move this up like so, and move this over here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scramble this, move this over to here, move this down like so. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking all of these guys out. Now it's ghosted but not bandaged. I think. And what that means is that it still is going to move like an AI cube. Let's see, what did I do? I just don't want to force it, but there may be, there we go. Okay. Let's try that again over here. Okay, so I move that in. I'm going to move this down, like so. I should be able to move this across. This may be stuck here. So there we go. Okay. I kind of figured it was probably stuck there a little bit. So now turn, and up. Okay. So now I'm going to move it. This is a little stuck here. Okay, good. Turn it over here. Very quickly, my perspective is turning into mush. Like this. Now, it's hard to say where one starts and the other stops. Okay. This is how I do quick scrambles with this, but I don't think anything is going to go quick with this. Turn, and turn. Move this over to here. Then I can move this guy into here. And turn. Okay, I'm getting very frightened now. Very scared. Move this like so. Move this up. Actually, let's do this. Doing an RID. What I'm trying to do is separate these out as much as possible. I want to get myself so confused as to what I'm supposed to do that I have to start from scratch. Because I know how to solve an AI cube. So why not make it more challenging? Alright, I want to separate these guys out. So the best way to do that is I'm going to move it in this position here. I want to separate these guys out. Turn, and turn. Okay, 1, 2. Alright, not bad. I want to separate these guys out over here. So I'm going to move this down to here. Okay, so right now I'm just doing my usual AI type maneuvers. Turn. Okay, I think I've almost got all of them teased out. Good. This over here, well. RIDIRD. So you can see the movement is really smooth. It's just very fun to move this guy around. Let's move this up. So for the first time, a scramble of a ghost AI puzzle. DIR. Okay. 2. Nope. And 3. Okay, I want to separate these guys out, so I'm just going to move this to here. That'll separate this. And then, yeah, I want to separate this out over here. So that's good. 1, 2, 3. Now I want to separate these two. Turn. I want to separate these guys out here too. So what I'm doing is I'm separating out all the pieces that are with each other. Not necessary. There's a degree of organization that happens spontaneously with chaos. All right. So you can see chaotic at the bottom, at the top, bandaged at the bottom. Okay, so there you have it. A ghost AI puzzle. You can see the AI areas over here and over here, but very well done. So this will be a very fun solve. But there you have it, the first time scramble of a ghost AI puzzle. Thanks for watching.